or a Dr. Pepper. Those are my two favorite soft drinks. Well, this restaurant serves Pepsi products in addition to hot tea or iced tea, which I normally drink. Well, a few weeks ago, I went in and asked for a Pepsi, and the young gal was in there, and I'd never seen her before. At least I don't recall her. I said, "Oh, you." So I was eating my meal, and I asked for a Pepsi at the start of the meal, which is what I got. And I didn't think anything of it. Normally, this would have triggered alarms in my mind saying, "This is ironic. I'm drinking Pepsi out of a Coke glass." And I didn't think anything of it. Well, the waitress comes over and says, "Would you like refill?" And that's what she said. Those were her exact words. And yes, what you drink? Pepsi. But it says Coke. I'm thinking, yeah, but you serve Pepsi products. I can see it on the fountain back there. So you want Coke? No, I want Pepsi. But it says Coke. I'm thinking, yeah, we've established that. I want Pepsi. And then she looks at me very frustrated and said, Pepsi. So she takes a glass and comes back with Pepsi. It's like, okay, well, I went through that. That's an amusing story. I'll put that on my Facebook page. I don't know why I didn't think to broadcast it on this show. Maybe I hadn't hosted it yet. Well, this past Saturday, I must have gotten a hold of her brother or something like that. And he goes, well, what are you drinking? Would you like refill? Yes, I like Pepsi. We serve Coke. Oh, I'm thinking, God. Yes, but I want a Pepsi. You want Coke? And I'm thinking, I don't really want to argue. I just want to eat my meal, catch up on the news a little bit, go to work. So I finally said, I don't want to argue. I'll stick to an iced tea. So that's kind of a follow-up there. Amusing little story there. And so that's what's going on in that regard. Well, I have talked for an hour. Can you believe that? What a lot of topics I've covered in an hour. I don't think I've ever had an opening quite this long. It's what I call a Bruce Williams opening there. One of my mentors, as it were, in the world of broadcasting. Well, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, give my jaws a chance to relax a little bit so we can continue on with the show, lovey. And when we come back, we'll talk about things you need to know on this Monday edition of First Cup. So stick around, my friends. More to come on this edition of First Cup. I believe I've already said that. Why isn't it working? Oh yeah, which button do I push? That one.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I don't know how to talk like a parent. Don't make me come back there. You see what I mean? It's pretty awful. Try it again. Don't make me come back there. Now that's pretty good. That one kind of sounded like my dad. Weird.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
My name is Dale Pazinski, and this is how I live United. I volunteer with United Way, helping the homeless in my community by teaching computer skills and helping them build a basic resume to save on their very own USB drive. It's huge when somebody says, "Hey man, that job that you helped me apply for, I got it." My name is Dale Pazinski. I help people achieve financial independence. so I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's up? Holla at your boy. XOXOXO. You getting these texts? Question mark. Where are you? What are you doing? OMG, you are making me mad. You better text me back. I'm waiting outside your house.
Relentless, aggressive texting is like sending an angry robot to deliver your message. When does the robot become dangerous? Let us know at that'snotcool.com.
That'snotcool.com.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Nanu. Shazbat.
I forgot the Mork and Mindy theme could have so many different connotations there. Kind of sentimental, then a little bit funky, and now back to the sentimental feeling. Mork and Mindy. Ah, yes. That was a funny show, wasn't it? Great tunes. Great tunes. Great show there back in the late 70s, early 80s. Although it, last season or so is kind of weird, even for Robin Williams. But I'm going to tell you right now, and very few people know this, but between you and me, I had the hots for Pam Dauber back then. Woo, what a hottie. I'm not kidding. I really did have a thing for Pam Dauber. Then I kind of creeped out a while back when I realized she's the same age as my mother. Ugh. Oh, the Oedipus complex there.
Yo, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really, really, really wanna zig a zig.
Oppan Gangnam Style.
And here are things you need to know on this Monday. And I just realized I talked for an entire hour without my bridge sound effects. Well, I must have been kind of boring at times. Oh well. I try to keep things lively and interesting here. And if you can do it with your voice, that's even better. Oh, who came in here? Unauthorized access. Oh well. Today is Monday, September 16th, 2013. And on this date in 1620, on this very date, 1620, 102 men, women, and children set sail from Plymouth, England, heading to the New World. And on this day, it's also Mexican. Let's try that again. Mexican. Slow down, Joe. Make the words count. It's Mexican Independence Day. Easy for me to say. It's the 203rd anniversary of when Mexico won independence from Spanish rule. It's National Stay Away from Seattle Day. You think we're kidding? Not really. This day was championed by Seattle residents tired of sharing their space with tourists. And it's National Play-Doh Day, first manufactured as wallpaper cleaner in the 1930s. I did not know that. Then marketed as a toy in the late 50s. Play-Doh is now one of the most popular toys of the last century. One of my favorites from childhood. It's in news attack this morning. A raid in the building housing a New York daycare found more than a kilo of cocaine, 1,000 oxycodone pills, and a gun. But there will be no formal charges logged against the daycare operator since the police found no evidence of people running with scissors. How to help your child succeed? Well, if your child is between 7 and 9 years of age, there is something you can do to boost their academic success. Read to them. A new study found that parents usually stop reading to their kids by age 7 when they're capable of reading on their own. But those extra 2 years can often help a child develop a love of reading, which studies say gives them a better shot at success in math and English. Parents need to open more books, and so I encourage you to do that. New York's oldest taxi driver dies at the age of 94. probably waiting in traffic for the light to change. Seems that Johnny Footman has collected his last fare. Oh, really? He had to go there? Well, Footman, the oldest cab driver in New York, died last Tuesday at the age of 94. According to a New York Times obituary, Footman, better known as Spider, wore a spider pendant around his neck and a hat that said, "Old dude made of achy-breaky parts." He would warn passengers that due to his age, he was a slow driver, though he had an impeccable driving record. Probably because everyone got out of his way to make sure they wouldn't get hurt. 94 years old, driving a cab. In the wacky but true files, haircutting roommate angers man. A guy in Michigan told police he came home and saw his roommate doing something to his neighbor. The man got really ticked off and ordered that his neighbor go home. Then the man threatened his roommate with a knife and hit him in the head with a beer can. I was wondering, what could this roommate possibly doing to his neighbor? Cutting his hair, perhaps? I mean, come on. And let's see here. And finally, Insidious 2 wins box office. And fitting news for the weekend of Friday the 13th, low-budget horror sequel Insidious Chapter 2 frightened the box office with a $41 million opening, the second-best September opening of all time. The weekend's only other opening, mob comedy The Family, came in a distant second with $14.5 million. You know, I have no desire to see Insidious 2, but, The Family, I think that might be a funny film to watch. I mean, how can you go wrong with, can't think who, I keep wanting to say Robert Downey for some reason. My mind just went blank. I think I've talked for too long already in this program. Well, let me get out of this potentially awkward situation and read you some news headlines before we get ready for the CBS World News Roundup a little bit later on in the show. Okay? So here we go with the news intro. Oh, Paul.
Hello, Americans. This is Paul Harvey. Stand by for news.
And in the news headlines this morning, rain hinders rescue efforts in flooded Colorado. Rain slowed recovery efforts in the Boulder, Colorado area, where as many as 500 people are still unaccounted for in the wake of sudden flooding this weekend. The official death toll as of last night was 6, and more than 1,000 people were still waiting to be evacuated by rescuers. More than 17,494 residential structures were damaged, and over 1,500 destroyed in the floods, while rain impedes the recovery efforts. Aerial rescue process, ground reduction efforts continue. the Costa Concordia cruise ship to be pulled from waters. The process to begin pulling the Costa Concordia from the waters began this morning at 6 a.m. Italian time. That's 11 p.m. last night Central Time. The ship made international news headlines when it struck rocks and partially sank in January of 2012 when its captain took it dangerously close to shore just to show off. He is now on trial. The disaster killed 32 people, and the 2 of their remains are still believed to be stuck inside the ship. This morning, the crews began parbuckling the ship, or rotating it onto platforms 30 meters below water. This has never been attempted on a ship of this size, and I've seen some pictures of it, and it is incredible. It almost doesn't even look real, like it's some kind of Photoshop job, but it is the genuine article, and I hope they get that ship back upright and back in service. Finally, Summers withdraws bid for Fed Chairman. Lawrence Summers, who was a lead candidate to replace Ben Bernanke as Fed Chairman, withdrew his name from consideration, the White House said yesterday. Summers faced opposition from Republicans and some Democrats as well. He served as director of the National Economic Council, overusing the Obama administration's early response to the ongoing economic crisis. In his resignation letter from candidacy, he wrote, quote, "I have reluctantly concluded that any possible confirmation process for me will be acrimonious. It would not serve the interest of the Federal Reserve. the administration, or ultimately the interest of the nation's ongoing economic recovery.